Okay, so going back to story about when you scared me a few days ago.
Which one? Which one? There's so many scary stories these days. Like it's
I know
unbelievable.
it is a really uncertain time, and then everybody is taking measures that they are sometimes drastical or unpredictable and stuff like that. So I guess when you told me about warning for first-time home buyers, increasing the down payment from 5 to 10%, I thought, wow, this is interesting because that didn't really match what the reports that I was, generating on my side, looking the real estate transactions and what is going on the market. And so when you said that, I was like, okay, interesting. And then you sent me a link and I read about it. But tell me more. Why that came out and how that came out and what was the purpose of all that information.
Yeah. So you see, that things was kind of surprising to everyone. It was surprised me, surprised the entire industry pretty much. What was it all about? The parliament, the federal government is asking for the CMHC once a year to send kind of a report to what's going on with the entire market in the housing industry. And the CEO of the CMHC, Ivan Sadal, he kind of sent his testimonials to the parliament. And in his testimonial, in his final report for the whole year, he indicated this, that at this point, our economy, it's falling apart, and our unemployment rate is increasing. And what we fear about it, that it's going to be a huge drop in the price in the real estate market. And he specifically indicated between 9 to 18%.
Okay.
And he's expecting that household debt will increase significantly. And because all of that, he's expecting that it's going to be default in mortgages, and will increase about to 20% in default in mortgages. And when you read the report, it comes up to, like, you know what, pretty much every fifth household will default in their mortgage.
Yes, and how likely is that?
That's almost impossible to happen. So his idea, saying all of this, it was to kind of convince the parliament to change the regulations, and saying he kind of like proposed his final proposal at the end of this testimonial was saying that in order to save the economy and save us as the CMHC, the major insurance company in Canada, we are proposing to increase the minimum down payment from 5 to 10%. And he's saying that if the price is going down, then if the mortgage is going to default, then someone has to cover the cost, which is going to end up on their side. They're an insurance company. They have to come up and listen, we're going to cover the difference. We cover the cost of that. And he said, now, because we're in this kind of situation, we are proposing to increase the minimum down payment to 10% and give us a little bit of a cushion, pretty much, to kind of have more equity into the housing and support that loss. So that testimonial went public. It's a public document. And I don't know, first time when I look into it, it's kind of scary. It's like, this guy is crazy. Like, I don't know what's going on in this country, or they're doing some kind of conspiracy theory or something is going on. Because the numbers, what he was telling about it, didn't make sense at all. Not to me.
Yes.
And ended up at the end, didn't make sense at all to anyone. A few days after that, you see the biggest economists in the country, the Benjamin Tal, the Shelley Cooper, and all these guys, they came out and said, this guy's talking about, this is total BS. Like, there's not such thing as like a 20% default in mortgages. We are on 0.5. We're the best country in the world. Like, Canadians, they don't default in their mortgages. It's just the law. Like, we are, honest people. We don't default. If something happened, we're going to default maybe 0.8, their prediction, maybe, let's say, double, 1%, which is pretty much, I would say, minimal. what might happen. So anyway, after all of this, what was going on, we're coming to a situation that, you know what, this guy, okay, just take him out of the picture. It's not happening. And then looking at the market lately, what's happening is, you know better than me what's going on with the market. I've seen it, prices that didn't go down, as I can see. Maybe the market a little bit, the transactions are not the way they used to be, but the prices never went down. What do you think?
So yeah, I agree with you again. As I was surprised at that time when you said that to me, I was like, okay, let's go and run the reports again and see if I didn't see something in there. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you. That would be really a surprise to me that that happened. That many people default on their mortgages, honestly, because of all these implementations the government did and all this happening. So I don't know, like my opinion is less likely that that's going to happen. First of all, if you look back in history, not that I'm that old that I know history, but I read.
Exactly.
You can see that the real estate market is actually taking the economies out of every recession, every transition, every problem situation in every country. And there is first signs or obvious signs, even here in the market, that that's going to happen in Canada as well after all this situation that we've been through. And I can share the screen with you if you don't mind.
Definitely, yeah. So I'd like to see those numbers because it's kind of interesting what they're saying, and then I know it's not real. It's just impossible to be something like that.
Yeah. So hold on, let me see which one is this is. Can you see it now?
Oh, there you go.
There you go. So if you look at the transactions, this is the I pulled up Oakville, okay? But you can pick any city or any place in Ontario if you want. And then this is the numbers that they are for last year
Okay.
in average price, sales
Exactly.
price. Okay. So if you take a look at the prices where we're in January 2019, so we can go all the way to January 2020, and then you look what's happening starting that point. So at the beginning of this year, Oakville average price was 1,081,000, and then going into a February, the prices were 1,243,000. So the prices were going steep up, and even if you look at the peak, last year's peak was in September 2019 for Oakville prices 1.2 million. In February, we went 1.243, which means that prices in February, from January to February, peaked even higher than any price last year. And then all this COVID-19 situation happened. And you see from February to in March, actually the first 15 days of March, we actually had a really good market as well. And we had lots of activities, lots of new listings coming on the market, which was really good because at that point we were short listings on the market, and the weather was getting better, and the market was seeing increase in listings, which was really encouraging. And then we kind of have March split into two parts. First part of March, which was really healthy and good market, and then second part of March, which was completely a confusing market after the announcement of when the Ontario announced the okay state of
Well,
emergency. That's the word I was looking
and
for.
stuff. Yes,
Correct.
exactly. So it was
So
great.
so the average price at the end of the March was actually in Oakville, it was 1.146. Okay. And then if you look at from starting from the March, now in April, you see the prices are going up. And we see increase in listings as well. I don't know, I didn't open that spreadsheet where I have actually numbers of the listings, but if you look at the numbers of listings that I have, oh, actually I can pull up here new listings as well. So the new listings in Oakville, see, there is no many listings right now in Oakville. 146 it was in April, 403 in March. So you see, that was encouraging part when the listings were start coming up, and
Yeah.
then all this happening. Many people say, okay, I'm not comfortable selling my house during the COVID. I don't want people to get into my house for showing, and then I get exposed to a virus. So that was slowing down the market at the moment. But now, when we see all these changes happening in terms of government, you know, um, uh, releasing businesses back into a business, then we see activities on the market more and more. And as I said, we had, well, even on the rental market, even on the sale market, we still see multiple offers. Before all this COVID-19 situation, I would say that we had a multiple offer situation with 9 offers, 10 offers, 12 offers, And then during the COVID situation, we still had a multiple offers.
Oh,
We
wow.
just had a smaller numbers. So we had 4 or 3, but we still had, like, I just had a couple days ago sending offer for my client for a rental. And it was a multiple offer situation. It was 4 offers for one rental property.
Yeah.
Um, it was two weeks ago sending offer for a house in Mississauga, 9 offers.
Wow. It went
So
up. It's
it's
going,
still,
the market is strong.
yes. So the people are, there's a lot of buyers there who were sitting patiently and waiting to see what's going on, but they were obviously financially capable of, um, uh, should I continue to share the screen, or I can put back? So, there's a lot of people or buyers who are still strong, who still can, qualify for mortgage. They're still working. I know lots of people who still have 2 jobs. They're lucky enough to have, full-time job and part-time job. And luckily they're working in both jobs, are jobs that they continue to work during the COVID. So we have a lot of people who still can afford to buy, and lots of buyers who were ready to buy before COVID. Now they're just waiting for everything to calm down and get back to market. Um, lots of sellers, lots of sellers. I was contacted by many people who were ready to sell before all this happened. And they just said, you know what, Tanya, just wait a couple of weeks to see what's going on. And then we'll make a decision. And then going through all this, we kind of waited until now. But now I'm just getting a phone call saying, okay, I think we're ready. We can start moving. We can make, slow steps going back to market. So people are listing.
I
And
mean,
definitely, working for Royal LePage, we have lots of real estate agents and real estate brokers, and we have a daily emails as soon as the listing comes on the market. So I can tell you that during COVID, I would say I have maybe one listing a day, sometimes not a single listing a day.
I have a question for you. You see, I never kind of, like, I know how it works. So I just wanted you to explain to me maybe more, a little bit different. Uh, let's say when you get an exclusive listing from your office, how can you act on that and kind of said on taking on a biggest advantage with your clients?
So you have to maybe explain me your question again, but you are talking about exclusive listings that we have.
Yeah, so pretty much but my understanding about it, once you get an exclusive listings, it's
Okay.
pretty much for exclusive listing, it goes in your office only, and only the agent in your office can see it. In this case, the other agents, let's say the listing is not yours, but you want a buyer, for example, you can take advantage of these listings before you even go on the market in the public, and kind of seal the deal for your buyers.
Well, that is actually a good question, especially when it's a seller's market. And there is a lot of buyers who are really looking for a specific property or specific area. and they just can't wait for property to come up on a market. But once that listing is out there on MLS, everybody see it, and then you just see multiple offers for that property. So as you said, when you have exclusive listings, so for whatever reason that exclusive listing is, that does not go on MLS. So that's why it's exclusive, because it's exclusive only for specific group of people. And so seller can, decide to go with exclusive listing for so many different reasons. Maybe sometimes, when your listing goes in MLS, we have to put your name on MLS. That's
Exactly.
a law. Okay. So sometimes people don't want others to know that that's their house. So they don't want their name to go on MLS. And that's why they say, okay, listen, I'm going to list the house, but I want to be exclusive because I don't want to be listed for public, so people to know. And that is a point when what you said is that listing goes into our sphere of influence, and
Mhm.
people who are, so what we would normally do is we would post that listing on our internal, or on not our internal, but on our website, so Royal LePage website. We will get all email as realtors in the Royal LePage about that exclusive listing. And that's how we inform our clients. So our clients are in a better position because we have fresh information and right on time. So they know about listing before everybody else knows. Even for MLS listings, our clients have a benefit of knowing about listing even 24 hours before it hits the MLS.
I see. So it's
But
going to benefit you as well.
for exclusive listing is just to a people that we share our information with.
Okay. Do you find that exclusive listing that can give you like a better price for your clients, or there's any setup on the price? They can are you eligible to twist it, the price range, or?
What I would say is that normally, if you go with exclusive listing, normally you do not get the highest best price for your property. And that is something that we always have to explain to the person who decides for exclusive listing, because the entire purpose of MLS is to put that information of your house uh, uh, for sale, put out there for everybody to know. And then when you have more people knowing about your property, then it's a higher chances of you getting a better price for a person who really loves your house. When you have exclusive listing, that it goes to sphere of influence of the people that we send information of that listing for. So that listing has to find the channels to the buyers. Okay, which when you put the listing on MLS, you have MLS public to everybody. So that MLS listing doesn't have to find a way. He's already there and
Exactly.
everybody can see it. And in that term, I think that MLS listing can maybe perform better in terms of price. But I would say that when you have exclusive listing, then it's mostly people pricing their property correct, because they know then when the right buyer gets the listing, then it's easier to justify why is that price. The right buyer see the value, and it's easier to have a deal closed in that situation.